All right, viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna have vibes in another video here and talk about Shericka Jackson. Of course, we ask you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, so Shericka basically did another leg on the 4x1 because the people have been asking for Shericka to run another leg, and finally it has happened. And said people have something different to say about Shericka leg. Them pretty much want Shericka to run the leg that they want her to run. But when I look upon it, it's a nice little transition for Shericka to run the leg that she for me, I think that they're actually trying to get her to pass the baton. And she would have successfully completed that. Me like it. Me like how it look. Because all these times Sherica has been receiving. And it has been said over the years that she cannot pass the baton. But see them try her now, and it worked. And I think it was a silky pass between herself and Jonelle Smith. When you look at two things that I observe from this, they allowed her again to handle the baton once. And that is still something to me that is challenging, because if they allow her to handle the baton once, then that simply means there might be some shakiness in terms of her handling the baton twice in the middle of the quartet. But I think this is a start. Also, what the other thing I observe is that she was placed on the curve, and she did a brilliant start on the curve. And when I look at it, that she went up against Dina Asher Smith, which is a curve runner as well. And I look back at it and I said, oh, Sherica is a 200-meter runner. 21.4. Of course, she's gonna get a good run off the curve. So that in itself was a no-brainer, where she has done, or what she has done in this race. Yeah. And off the start. The pass was slick. It was smooth. I didn't see any challenge with that pass. She pretty much held her own against Dina on the curve. And 200 meters, of course, Shericka, Dina, if you look on her spikes. So, tested and proven, she can run her next leg. My challenge now is to see her in between. Will she be able to collect and receive? And if I know several persons have different opinions, right? Persons want to see her on the backstretch. The lead off was one of the legs that nobody was thinking about. Because again, it is said that Sherica is not a good starter. So comes whatever. But going up against Dina Asher Smith and she held her own, not bad at all. Right? In the middle now, what I'm looking at, people want to see her on backstretch. Is that a decent place to have somebody who is potentially not a good pass and receiver of the baton? What I'd want to see, since she did so well on the curve, and she's a good 200-meter runner, I would certainly want to see her on that third leg. That third leg would be a good bet. So when you look at it, Tina or Tia to Shelly to Shericka, and then one of the twins again on the anchor. So that is how I would love to see it. Because if Shericka did so well on the third leg, on the first leg, which is a curve, then of course she can do it again on the third leg. And normally, third leg is insurance in 4x1. When you look at what Gabby Thomas did, people talking about TT Terry run up on Shelly. Of course, Shelly had an injury. Shelly was leading by far, and she pulled up because of that. So the insurance they had was Gabby Thomas on the third leg. So I certainly believe that Sherica can be tried at the third leg. But again, will they have the opportunity to go through a practice like this? And did they practice? Them just try a thing and probably it work. But again, persons will say as a professional athlete, you should be able to adjust. But then again, you want to put persons on the leg that they are best suited, especially with the dynamics of the whichever team that you have. Yeah. And if we're thinking about these four persons, Tia, Tina, Shelly, and Shericka, then I would want I could think about putting her on the third leg if we don't want to see her on anchor, because again, it is just opinions going out again. But I do believe that this is a start. To have her on another leg, it is a massive start. Um, and possible that boosts her confidence to want to actually run another leg. Yeah, that will want to boost her confidence to run another leg. So there are a lot of dynamics when it comes on to relays. People who are curve runners, people who are experienced, you want to put them at a particular leg, especially the back stretch. You want to ensure that an experienced person is on the back stretch, because if you lose it there, you're pretty much out of it, if you lose it on the box stretch. And not only leg speed on the box stretch, but you want someone who is calm and composed with all that is around them from the other opponents. You want to ensure that they are very calm and collective in a pressure situation. And again, Shelly would be that person. Is Sherica suited enough for the backstretch? Backstretch is long, yes. And you want somebody who can put in a good shift there. Sherica can. Yeah, because of her 200 endurance again. But does she have the, what you'd call it, the experience to say there, or the experience just in case anything happened, you know? So there are a lot of dynamics when it comes on to 4 by 100 meters. There's never a perfect answer. It's just the dynamics of your setup that you have. And yeah, you can put it anywhere. You can select a team anywhere. Just on paper, you can put them anywhere, but the dynamics, especially in warm up, in training, in practice, you're gonna see something. You're gonna see an athlete tend to want to drift to that side. So you're gonna say probably that a problem. Let them lead off. You want them to touch the stick once. Let them do the ankle leg. Yeah, because it's easier to put up your hand to receive than to pass. Some persons believe. But when you look at Shericka again today, she passed very well. She saw it. And then again, you want somebody who's experienced, because if Johnny wasn't an experienced person to keep that hand steady, you think Shericka would have fared out so well? You can look at that as well. But all in all, it just goes to show me that Shericka can run other legs, and we certainly are pleased to we are pleased to know that she actually did another leg. We didn't win, but it was exciting to see her running somewhere else. Yeah. Um, but what are your thoughts? How would you set up your team knowing that Shericka can now run another leg? How would you put your team together? Yeah, because my team, having Shericka running another leg and we want to move her away from the anchor, I would go with I would go with Tina, and Tina backstretch bully too, So you could have switched all with Shelly start to Tina to Shericka, to Tia. Yo, you see? Whole of dynamics, Then you can say Tina is a very good starter. Make she start to Shelly, to Shericka, to Tia. Yeah. So it is always good to have these problems when they come on to 4 by 1. And We have had it over the years, and I've had it over the years, and we had to make um quick decision, and we make quick decision, and record run. So let's see how this one plays out as it goes into September and the championship. What say you?